What is happening, guys? It's your main man, Matt, from the DFS 5-pack. Rocking it solo Saturday, April 17th. I know Ryan's got some good weather out there, so we are splitting up baseball and basketball. Reminder that on the weekends, we only cover the night slate, the main slate. Occasionally, we'll get out both, but just so people know, we're usually just covering the main slate, the one that starts in the evening. And with that being said, we got a good one to talk over this evening. I'm excited to break it down for you guys. I'm just going to make one video for the public and members only, just because we got so much stuff going on. I know people want to set their day lineup. So if you have any questions about that stuff, feel free to holler at me. I'll be around once I'm done making this video, which when you guys see it, I will be done making this video. So with that being said, let's dive right in. All right, we should be good. Pitching options, it's only a 5-game slate, so the two top dogs really stand out in Kershaw and Darvish. Obviously, not in good spots. I mean, no one ever wants to face the Dodgers, and frankly, you never really want to pick on the Padres either, especially with Tatis back, homered last night off Bueller. I mean, neither of these pitchers are in crush spots by any means. That said, they are far and away the two top pitchers on the slate. Greinke has not looked great to me so far, so I understand why Kershaw and Darvish are getting a ton of love. If I had to choose one, I think I'd choose Darvish. I think it's close. I think you can make a strong case for either of them. I think you could play both of them. Tough to fade both of them, but not impossible to do that either. If I'm choosing one, though, at 600 less, give me Darvish. I like San Diego tonight. They used a bunch of their bullpen last night, so I expect Darvish to have a long, long leash here. And that's something that probably can't be said about Kershaw. Again, very likely you can use both, but if I'm choosing one, it's Darvish. Like I said, Greinke has not looked great. He was good in that first start, and the second start he actually looked good after the beginning of it. He was horrendous against Detroit, so is the entire Houston pitching staff. It's hard to get to him with Darvish right there and Kershaw just a little bit more, but considering the drop-down options after that, I don't think he's out of play at all. And potentially going like a Darvish Greinke in tournaments is a look, if nothing else. Matt Shoemaker, I don't hate. He was really good in his first start, then started off really good against Seattle before it kind of imploded on him. I mean, that's who Matt Shoemaker is. We know that he's not going to be an ace like all year. That said, with no Rendon still, I don't hate him here just because of the slate. I mean, everyone after Kershaw, Darvish, and to an extent Greinke is a question mark. Even Greinke himself is a question mark. So, yeah, it is what it is there. Sorry about that, guys. Already after that, Dane Dunning. I liked Baltimore last night. They were solid, not great, not awful, solid. Dunning has been good. Obviously he doesn't have the longest leash. Not going to throw him a ton of pitches. I know he had been labeled as an opener for the prior two starts. Obviously went longer than that. I think you can make a realistic case for Dunning and the Baltimore Bats. And that's going to be the case for Baltimore a lot because they strike out a lot, but their lineup's underrated in my eyes. So that's how I look at it. Brett Anderson, no thanks. Trevor Cahill, certainly not excited about it, but you could do worse. That's all I'll say. You could definitely do worse on this slate. Nice price tag for sure. And yeah, I mean, listen, he's a guy that's if he's pitching well, he's going to throw 80 plus pitches. He's cheap. Milwaukee is not very good. We'll see if Yelich makes the lineup. He's in play if nothing else. Jose Quintana. I've been a Quintana fan throughout the days. It seems like he's just kind of lost it. He needs a good start. Tonight is not the spot I'm going to use him. I really like Minnesota bats. Chris Flexen came back down to earth last time out. He was really good against San Fran when I used the Giants bats, of course, against him. Was not very good against Minnesota. I'm sure we'll see him be somewhere in between these starts most of the time. It is a decent spot against this watered-down Houston lineup. That said, they still got Gurriel, Correa. I mean, Brantley. That's about it, though. So I don't hate flexing on this slate. I mean, Probably wouldn't use him if I'm making like one lineup, but if I'm multi-entering, I don't think any of these guys are crazy. Dean Kremer, man, it's tough to want to get to Kremer here just because he has not looked good at all. Oh, man. Texas just sucks, though. I mean, even Jorge Lopez was good last night. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I don't think Kremer's the craziest play in the world, and I don't think Texas is the craziest play in the world. That said, I probably won't play either. Just personally, I probably won't play either and hope that both are kind of just meh. I don't know. If Yelich is out again, I think Cahill. I prefer Cahill over any of those cheaper guys. Greinke and Darvish are and Kershaw, obviously. I mean, if I'm making one lineup right now, I might just take a shot on Greinke. It does not sound good. It doesn't feel right. I think you go Kershaw also, drop all the way down. Bunch of good pitching options on this slate. I wouldn't say good pitching options. A couple good pitching options, and then the rest look like they're about all the same, which makes it tough to choose. Darvish looks like my favorite pitcher of the night, and going against the Dodgers, that's pretty scary. So take that all with a grain of salt. Tough spots tonight. This isn't like last night where, we had a few pitchers in really good spots. Scherzer and Montas ended up being really, really good. I don't see the crush spots like that here. That said, everyone's playing with the same playing field. So, everyone's going to probably struggle a little bit unless they're just spending all the way up. And, I mean, that's definitely viable, but I don't think that's like 100% going to be the GPP winning move by any means. So let's talk some sticks, and maybe that will help us clarify pitching a little bit. Baltimore, Texas, again, I was on the Orioles last night. A couple guys were real good. Freddie Galvis at ninth had like 17. Mullins leading off had a good night, 3,900. I mean, if you were trying to stack them, I don't hate it at all. Santander, 3,800. The other guy, Ruiz, hit a homer, so he was pretty good. He's 3,400. The middle of their lineup was not good at all. And Mountcastle, Mancini, and Franco, they went over. They put up 0 DK points, so that was pretty disheartening. Baltimore is more one-offs for me. I think they're in a fine upside spot. They're not like the most optimal team on the board. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. My wife, of course, had to ask me a question right then. I'm sure some of you know how that goes. Alrighty, Texas. They're another team. I mean, they're very similar to Baltimore in my eyes. Like, you're not excited about these guys. Nate Lowe, the 0 for last night. We know he's got power upside. He's shown it a bunch this year, 4 long home runs. I mean, this lineup's a lot like Baltimore, even less attractive for me. So probably a slightly better spot for Texas, but I like Baltimore's lineup better, is how I would sum that up. And I could see getting to either of them. A guy like Gallo, he's still only 4,400, walked again last night. He was pretty popular. I imagine he'll be real popular here. He's got a ton of upside in this spot, so no doubt about that. All righty. Pittsburgh and Milwaukee. This is another one. I mean, let's talk about Pittsburgh first. Pittsburgh's been pretty feisty. Another good game last night. I know Phillip Evans averaging 90K points a year. Nice start to the year. Polanco went yard. A little bit of a much different spot for them against a lefty here. Dow Polanco's in the lineup. Much worse spot for Moran. They do have a couple guys that are better against lefties, though. So interested to see how their lineup looks when it comes out. Not one you're going to be like overly excited about. Brett Anderson isn't a guy like the stack against usually. This is probably just a stay away spot from both sides for me. Milwaukee, man, they're just not exciting right now. I know Ryan talked about Urias. He doubled last night. like looking at this more, I like Cahill more than I like Milwaukee. I no doubt Milwaukee like could get to him. I mean, they've got some okay pieces from the left side, but this lineup is pretty weak, and with no Yelich, it's even weaker. So I like Cahill over the Brewers bats. Padres and Dodgers. I think that both these teams come in very low owned. That said, I also feel like a lot of people who don't play, I feel like a lot of people won't. Excuse me. I feel like a lot of people who don't play Kershaw or Darvish might want to play some bets against them. Maybe not. I mean, obviously, I think these are two of the lower owned offenses on the board because they're in tough spots. Ooh, what's up with Machado? He might be out of lineup, which makes it a better spot for Kershaw, no doubt. They do have Tatis back. He homered last night, otherwise didn't do a damn thing. Interested to see how he looks like in the first week back, see if that shoulder starts bothering him. These guys are elite plays, every time they're on a slate, and tonight's no different. Very tough spot for them against Kershaw. The only thing I'll say about San Diego here, it's not like a 14-game slate, so it's not like they have to beat out a ton of spots. That said, probably not where I spend my money. I could easily see using a Tommy Pham if he's hitting atop the lineup. He has not been good this year, but we know he's got power, speed, upside against lefties. Real cheap at 2,600. So, again, I think you can look one-offs from there. And the Dodgers, I like Darvish. I mean, the Dodgers are, even more elite than the Padres. So, if you ever want to use like a Mookie Betts, Corey Seager, who homered in extras last night, Justin Turner, another 15-point game last night, I got no argument. It's not where I'm going to go tonight. I like Darvish. I'll plant my flag on him. The Dodgers are amazing, though. If that's who you like, go with it. Twins and Angels, I think this is a spot where we can look at some offense. The Twins faced a lefty last night, almost got to Heaney. Heaney was just good enough to get out of there. I want to look at the same suspects here. Donaldson, their lineup looked pretty good last night, even without Byron Buxton, who might be back today. Obviously, if he's back, like him a lot more. Actually, I don't see him being back. Hamstring strain. They're going to play it real cautious with him. Love Nelson Cruz again. Let's check some BVP quickly. Cruz is 7 of 23, so not much there. Sano is 3 of 22, no homers. So Sano has not looked great so far this year. He might be one piece that I would back off of, unless I'm like stacking the Twins and I'll have exposure there, but I'm not looking to like lock him in everywhere. Cruz I like a lot. Donaldson. Twins haven't been great this year. I like this spot against Quintana. Not that it's like the ultimate smash spot that you have to like lock these guys in. I personally like them, slate considered, though. Mitch Garver led off last night. Nice game, 16 DK points. I'm sure he'll be right back in there again today. He should be at least. I think Kepler's a look, lefty on lefty. No one will go here. He's got upside against anyone. And we know that, he crushes bullpens. One of these games, he's going to have 2 home runs because that's just what Max Kepler does. So beware of that. As far as the Angels go, don't love them against Shoemaker. Guy going back to where it all started for him. I mean, I'd use Trout over like Mookie Betts here, just a much better spot. I'd rather pick on Shoemaker than Darvish. Upton grand slam last night. He looked good. He's had a lot of good at-bats this year. So at 3,300, I think he's a fine filler piece, regardless of whether you want to stack the Angels or not. Walsh, another homer last night. Ohtani. I think the Angels are probably low owned here. And I like them more than I like the Dodgers and Padres. That said, I'm not sure how low owned they are. I mean, people really like using these guys. Just an interesting slate in that regard. Much like the early slate today, I think ownership is pretty spread out here. Houston and Seattle. Greinke hasn't been great, but I'm not really looking at Seattle bats here. They've been pretty good recently. Nice comeback win for them last night. If you want to go to Haniger, I mean, double digits in 4 straight, 5 of 6. He's playing really good ball right now, averaging 10 plus DK points per game. No reason he should be this cheap. So if you want to rock with a Haniger, I think France had a good game last night. He's got pop. This is another team that has pieces. I don't mind those pieces, but not really looking to stack against Greinke, despite his rough outing last time out. I could get on board with some Houston pieces, though, against Flexen, who I'm not overly impressed with. Gurriel, Correa. Their lineup just sucks, though, right now. It's the problem. So, I don't know, more likely to stay away from them than, go all in on them. That said, I forgot about Tucker, who I'm a big fan of. Tucker, Brantley, Gurriel, Correa. That's a nice foursome. It's not like a world-beating foursome, but it's solid. Straw leading off at 2,800. We'll have to see how their lineup shakes out, but it's Chris Flexen, and I'll still take Houston over them. So, in summation, I think it's a very spread out slate. I mean, I think that the top pitching options are obviously going to be the top three guys. After that, it's pretty much a crapshoot. I think Shoemaker, Cahill, and Dunning. Shoemaker and Cahill, and then Dunning and Kramer, I think, are all in play. As far as bats go, it's spread out just like the pitching. So, again, it's early. Wanted to get this out for you because I know we got a bunch of slates for a bunch of sports coming today. So, thank you, guys. If you want more information, more videos, more write-ups, any of that stuff, go check out the DFS5pack.com today. And again, have a great weekend, and thanks a lot, guys.